What is up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to podcast number 4.
Four bitches.
The Loud and Proud podcast. Because we are loud. We like to play our amps, digital modelers, and sometimes even plugins, if you sway that way. Super loud, and we're goddamn proud doing it. And none other with me right now is Mr. Matt the Riff Master himself, the only man who could probably downpick or out-downpick Mr. James Hetfield himself. Matt, how are you doing?
Coming for you, boy. Yeah, I'm good, man. Very good. Episode 4. I'm excited. This is awesome. Yeah. Jazz's second intro to the podcast. I think he did a good job again. Let's give him another one of them bitches.
Hey, and we made it to podcast number 4. We haven't fallen out yet. We still like each other.
Yeah, mate. Fuck it, mate. It's all good fun. I got my Bex today. Bex is the drink of choice.
I have my St. Michael, as always.
Oh, good boy. Cheers.
Cheers. So,
Jazz. Go. What are we doing today?
Today, we're going to be answering you guys' questions. We both put out polls on Instagram, or like the question thing, you know, where you fill it in, asking you guys to ask us questions, anything that you wanted to know about. And also we plugged it in our YouTube videos as well, so some of you may have left like comments over on Matt's. So we've got your questions right here, all 4 of them. From my end, anyway. I think Matt's got more. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I've been excited about this one.
Right, yes, me too. I'm excited. Something a little different, but cool to get you guys involved. So I've got a bunch. We'll try and get through all of them. If we don't get to your question, be rest assured we'll get to it in another 100%. And a huge shout out to everyone that did send in question. You guys are awesome. Can I start this one off, Jazzy boy?
Go for it.
Right, so this one really only I can answer, really, but it's a cool question. So, Millsworld21 says, beard care suggestions, ? Well, my friend, if you're looking for some fine beard products, you want to check out a company called Beard and Bones. I discovered them when I started to grow this on my face, and I found their products were amazing. They worked great. They smelled great. Like my beard smelled anything from sweet rum, tobacco and vanilla, candy floss, bubble gum, tropical scents, watermelon, coconut. So Beard and Bones, if you're growing a beard, go to Beard and Bones, and your beard could look as good as this one day.
Yeah. Or this one right here.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jazz, do you want to add anything to the beard care one?
As a matter of fact, I was going to leave the room for that one.
Yes. No women allowed.
Look, I've tried, and this is just about the extent of what happens, so there we go.
Mate, you do you. You're beautiful. Don't worry about it. So Millsworld21, beard care suggestions. Thanks, bro. There you go. Do that. I thought I'd get that one out of the way because it's really only based at me because, you know.
My questions from my bunch, obviously my channel, if any of you guys watch my stuff, you know my channel. Amongst all the stuff, it kind of has a theme. So I've got like a couple of Bullet My Valentine questions. So the first one I've got here is from Veteran. Okay, Veteran, you know who we are. We've spoken before. I'm not even going to insult you by trying to pronounce your second name. But, Veteran Dravivic. Let me know. Sorry,
that was so fucking
Veteran,
wrong. So wrong.
It was, yeah. Okay, what is your favorite track from the Poison album? Oh my god. So if anybody doesn't know, Bullet for My Valentine's first album, released on my birthday, October the 3rd.
Was that a plug so I don't forget your birthday?
No, that was not a plug, but I just think it's very strange how these things, and the new album's coming out in October as well. But so their first album was called The Poison, and that's kind of like their, I don't know, people love them for that album. I guess you could say, dare I say, it's their biggest one. So what would my favorite song be? Well, somebody asked me the other day, what's your favorite Bullet My Valentine riff? And I was thinking in terms of to play. So I like them all for different reasons, but I would go to The Poison itself just for the metalcore pulley-offy riff that happens once on the second chorus and right at the end of it. And that, to me, if somebody goes Bullet My Valentine, that is the sound of Bullet My Valentine. So I'd say The Poison is a strong contender, but other than that, if we're not talking about playability, we're just talking about listening to it, I'd probably go for something like Her Voice Resides. Because it's got everything. It's got absolutely everything.
There's some fucking monster.
And I know it's the first track. It is a monster. And I know it's the first track. And it's like, oh, you haven't listened to the rest of the album, the deep cut. Yeah, I know. Cries in Vain is great. Oh, my God. Hit the Floor. Room 409, is it?
Yeah.
You know, I love that stuff as well. But I think as a song that's just got it all, I would have to go with Her Voice Resides.
Oh, what was the question again?
Favorite track from The Poison?
All right, for me, favorite track from The Poison, I'm going to go with, again, playability for actually playing on guitar. I would probably put 4 Words to Choke Upon. It's a fucking absolute beast to play on a guitar. With those bends, man. Shit.
Oh, man.
But listening-wise, I'd probably go for 10 Years Today.
10 Years Today is such an underrated song.
So for me, when that album came out, I had just lost a very good friend of mine. Sadly, he decided that he was fucking done with this place, and he was like, "No, I'm off, clocking out, kunk." And that song was around at that time, and it's a song that I listen to that takes me back to that time, makes me think of him. So, favorite one for me, it will be 10 Years Today. Great song. Cool question, though. Very good question. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, very
right.
Cool. Thank you, Vedran.
Thank you very much. Was it Vedran?
Vedran, yeah.
Da Shuba Hagawaki.
Yeah, that
close enough.
Sorry, Vedran.
Right. My next question is from Gabriel.ds03, and he asks, "What was the hardest song you've learned?" Right. So I remember I did a video on this. I think the hardest thing I learned to play, it was Nothing Else Matters. That intro, you know, of all the pulley-offs, the hammer-ons, the other bits and the bits and the bits. And that's just one thing I always struggled with when I was first playing guitar. And I'd probably stick that as the hardest thing that I've had to learn. And Jazz looks like he's having a little bit of distress at the minute, not being able to find his bottle opener.
He's like... Here it is. I have been listening to you. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, but yeah, for me that really kicked my ass back in the day. And I'd probably there's been riffs here and there throughout the years that have been difficult, and I still find stuff difficult now. But I'm gonna stick with that one because it was where it really all started for me. And just that intro really reminds me, every time I think of it, I think of the pain and the turmoil I went through, the repetitiveness of just trying to get it, getting frustrated. Yeah. And I think as a guitar player, learning something difficult, that's fun. Getting frustrated where you're fucking swearing, you're punching, your mum walks in and you're like, "Fuck off, bitch." Like, that's all part of the fun of a guitar player. I just want to touch on quickly, all the people that ask, what do you do when you're struggling to learn stuff? Get frustrated, get angry, and put all of that into learning. Then you can become as good as, you know, some people.
I'm just going to ask you one question before I do mine. Okay, so that's Nothing Else Matters, but what's the most difficult heavy one you've done?
The most difficult heavy one? I don't know, actually. I mean, a lot of them they all start difficult sometimes, but I think what really pops into my head is that chorus to Atlas Rise, down da da down da da down. Not because of like the riff of it. It wasn't that difficult, but it was the structure and like which note you would go to. And I remember I kept fucking it up over and over again. And that one really, I sat up till like 3 a.m. trying to get it, and I just couldn't. But I just pushed through, and you know I was stressed, and I drank a lot, and then I put out a fucking sick cover that sounded good.
Okay, so for me, the hardest, was it hardest song or hardest riff?
Hardest. What's the hardest song you've learned?
All of them.
All of them.
I will not lie to you, and this is no secret, right? Playing heavy music does not come naturally to me. Like I've had to work for this. It's my favorite thing, obviously, musically. But guitar-wise, certain stuff comes natural, but like there's certain aspects of playing heavy music. For instance, galloping. That, is so tricky for me. So anything that's horseback is a challenge for me. And I have to really work at it. So
he's a pro at bareback.
So hardest. But I wouldn't recommend it. So,
Yeah, go on.
hardest one. What springs to mind? Oh my god, I'd have to go through my covers list. Well, there are songs that I haven't covered yet that I still fight with to this day. Battery, number one. Just the riff. It's not so much the galloping on that one. It's the timing and the drums. It just fucks with my head.
Yeah.
It just really. And I spent many mornings where my routine would be get up, go play Battery at like half speed, 75% speed. But that's not one I've learned. In terms of like covers, what's the hardest ones I've had to learn? Getting the Lords of Summer riff tight.
Oh, yeah,
comes
mate,
to mind.
100%. That riff is fucking difficult to get. Real.
And when I put that out and I sat back and I watched that back, I was like, "There's no way have I just done that." I just got up one day and I was like, because with covers they float around, don't they? They float around and you want to get to them and you want to get to them. Like I've had Sanitarium floating around forever, but it's got 4 fucking guitar solos in it. The rhythm is tight as ass, right? It's just one of them that whenever I've sat down to do it, just something's gone wrong. So these covers, they float around in Lords of Summer. I've always wanted to do it. It's like one of my favorite Metallica songs. And so that would probably go down. Just getting that riff.
Yeah.
Tight.
Mate, first time I heard that Lords of Summer riff, down, to get the precision of... it's just a bitch.
It's string skipping.
Yeah, man.
It's straight.
Yeah.
It's if the string was next door, if you would like do it, if it was a power chord riff, which would sound bloody awful, by the way. But if you were just doing like an F sharp power chord and just hitting the fifth, it would no problem. But because you're having to jump over and do like the Jimmy Page, Top of the Pops fucking song, whatever it was called. That one. Yeah. That's not even the Top of the Pops one. Yeah, that definitely. And then that is a strange riff. And then lastly, in terms of the most recent strong I've really battled with, I would say Parasite, because that thing is
That's
a
an
monster.
absolute
That you bought my
beast,
Valentine song. That is, but that was only difficult because I was rushing to get it out because I wanted to be the first or amongst the first. So there we go. So
yeah, but
there's no one answer there.
Yeah, there's loads, and there'll always be like new ones. But yeah, good one. Lords of Summer. That down now. Yeah. Huge shout out Gabriel DS03 for your question, man. Fist me, kapushk. And let's move on to Jazz's next one.
Okay, this next question comes off of a guy who has a very special place in my heart because he's been there since the sort of very beginning of my channel, actually, and he's a follower of yours as well, Matt.
Oh.
He's a huge supporter of all the guys who like the YouTube channels and the guys who do what they do. Mr. Callum Doran.
Oh, Callum, I love you, bro.
Absolute legend.
Love that guy.
Fucking love Callum.
Yep.
And he asks, what is your dream head and cab?
Oh.
So I'm going to throw that out to you first.
All right, so my dream head and dream cab. All right, I got 2 answers for this, okay? So, right now, I kind of got it. I got my Black Star Series 1. I got my 2x12 Black Star Series 1 cabinet for me. Done. But above that, it would have to be the future Matt the Riffmaster signature Black Star head, which I'm gonna fucking make that happen, okay? I've literally planned out the Matt the Riffmaster signature amp, the amp head of how it's gonna be, how it's gonna be set out, how it's gonna look, and it's gonna be a chug machine. So watch this space in the near future because I'm gonna make that happen.
My dream amplifier,
good boy,
would be probably one of those Friedmans that Jim Root's rocking right now.
Oh, good shout, good shout.
And I'm pretty sure Jerry Cantrell uses those as well.
Yep.
And they are just monstrous for tone, and they are something that I would absolutely put it this way: to get Jim Root off of Orange Rocker Verbs, it's gonna be good, isn't it?
No, I'll agree with that.
I would just love to play with a Friedman. So it would either be that or a Bogner Shiva, which I know that Jerry Cantrell uses as well, and I'm a huge fan of all like the tones on like Black Gives Way to Blue, Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, those albums, right? And Rainier Fog, and I know he uses the Bogner Shiva. So maybe between those two, because I've kind of got my 6505 and a Marshall 800. It's all sat in the camper, but like as far as like an expensive head, I'd love to take one of those Bogner Shivas or maybe a Friedman.
Right, I got a cool question next. Fuck. This is from Swinglehurst Guitar. Wait, who gave you that question? Callum. Love you, Callum.
That was Callum Doran. Big love, Callum. Thank you so much for all your support. You fucking rock.
Yes. Right, next question is from Swinglehurst Guitars. Now, John Swinglehurst is a beautiful man. He makes some amazing guitars, all handmade, natural finishes. They're fucking beautiful. Check him out on Instagram. Him and his business were reason why I got to go to Bloodstock Festival 2017 backstage with all the people, where me and Alex Skolnick from Testament were the only two people to walk away with a free Black Star amp. Okay?
Woo.
So, Swinglehurst Guitars has asked, Jazz, are you ready for this? Because this is going to be I think this could just end the whole fucking podcast, all right?
Okay.
Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Right.
Now,
you want to go first?
see, I've had these questions my whole life, right? For example, who would win, the sun or 100 pissing lions? If you've ever been to the zoo and see a lion take a piss, you know that's like a fucking jet wash, okay? So
Put the cartridge away. No need.
So I would probably rather fight. I'd probably go for a horse-sized duck just for some excitement because,
Yeah.
I mean, 100 duck-sized horses, like I could just fucking sit on them and that's it, really. So probably just a massive horse-sized duck. I keep getting scared I'm going to say dick. But a horse, yeah.
I hate horses or animals.
I hate
really.
everything that has life.
Yeah. I would go the same as you because hopefully a great big duck. I like ducks, I guess. They swim around the back in the river at the back of mine. And I guess I'd be hoping that the duck was like just this big cuddly thing and we can have cuddles and loves instead of, fight, put our differences aside. And
So you're telling me
accept
that you would want to make love and have fun with a horse-sized duck?
Well, I wouldn't want to make love to
Are you
it.
sure?
I'm quite sure. I just think it would be nice to have. It would be like warm and furry.
All right, but what if picture the scene one night you're just sitting there having some loaves of bread together. You're having a drink. He's having some pond water.
Loads of bread together.
Like what happens if you're just having that the stars are aligned. It's beautiful out, and one he's like quack, and you're like, oh yeah, and then Barry White starts playing, and then there's loads of like
Whop, whop.
then there's like loads of horse-sized duck jazzes running around.
This is another guy who is near and dear to my heart, Mr. Louis Marsh. So, Metallica question, he says,
Okay.
Louis says.
Okay.
What would be... Now, I've been thinking about this one for about a week now.
Okay.
And I've got it. Metallica question. What would be you guys' favorite era and least favorite era and why? Now, I've got mine.
Okay.
For favorite and least.
All right, go on. You do that, and I'm going to think about mine because that's a tricky one.
It is a hard one, and I've just had to think, just be decisive, because like, I don't know, like the Load era just interested me in terms of like the music they were making and they were pumping out. But if we're talking about like live shows, image, sound, favorite era, 1989. Yeah. God damn.
Yeah.
Pissed off as hell.
Yeah.
Their beloved bass player, Cliff Burton, God bless. Pissed as hell, and it fucking showed in the live shows.
Oh, yeah.
And, we've talked about Seattle 1989 before, and then for Bob Rob to take that and capture that on a record, that live energy, but I'm not saying it's the Black Album era. No, it's that 1989 period where, I don't know, Hetfield started filling out. Yeah, he wasn't like that sort of like lanky, boyish guy anymore.
Yeah.
Like he had the handlebars going, yeah, and he started filling out, and his voice had this rasp. Come crawling faster, yeah, all that, yeah. And honestly, and then that White Explorer just down by his fucking knees, just hands down, favorite era.
Yeah.
Least favorite. There was a period between S&M and the Monster Movie where Metallica were just in a very shit place, and you could see that. Any gig after that, you can just see that that's when things started taking a turn, and you could almost just, I don't know, Jason just doesn't look like he's, I don't know, I just can't explain it. It's just that period in between the Monster movie and sort of like the beginning of it and post S&M, sort of around like 1999 to 2000, maybe 1998.
Well, I think there was a lot of tension with Jason and his other project he was doing, which, by the way, was fucking shit. I think there's a lot of tension there, and that showed like on stage and in the shows. It was like Jason was here, the rest of the guys were over here. You know?
Yeah, that, and that's why it's my least favorite, because it just felt like, and you could see Hep was on his trip. You know, you could see that. You know, and bear in mind, this is like my favorite man in the universe, apart from Matt, of course.
Of course, I was going to say, whoa, boy.
Have
you seen this beard?
Get off.
I think for me, like, era that I'd love to have been around with, there's two. So it's probably like, you know, what you said, 1989. It was just aggressive. It was free living. It was just fucking balls to the walls. Get sweaty, get fucked up. Listen to some heavy fucking music. I'd also love to have been at some like the first shows, you know, right up against the stage, you know. Least favourite era for me, this is easy, and that would be now, if I'm honest. I'm a bit sad to be alive. No. But as far as now goes with the Metallica boys, I'm not too excited. But, you know, that's just me. But I love Metallica. Always have, always will. That's what I want people to understand. I'll always love Metallica. I just don't always love the things that they do. All good. But I like that question. Huge shout out to, was it Lewis?
Louis Marsh.
Louis. I'm going to call you Lewis, though. Moving on, I have another question here. This is from one of my followers. The guy's awesome. He's always there commenting, being sexy and sassy, sexy and
is
sassy.
It me?
Yeah. Bold yet provocative, supple yet sassy. And that is the almighty Owen Moody. Owen Moody, I love you, guy. Don't ever change. And he says, any regrets in regards to trading, selling a favourite or very liked bit of gear? If so, what gear was it?
Oh.
So I've got a few here. I've been through a lot of guitars.
Yeah.
You know, they've come and gone. As you know, I've sold my snake bites. They went. I love the snake bites. But there is one guitar. I'd like to have the white snake bite back. If it came up and you know, then cool. But I'd probably say I used to have an LTD V50.
I remember that, the white
pointy white flying V, man. And do you know what? Yeah. For a fucking like an affordable guitar, that thing sounded amazing. Like I did a few covers with that. Sounded.
Did you do Through Life on that?
I did do some of the guitar parts with Through Life, yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounded so good. But sadly, I sold it. But mate, if I had it now, I'd stick some EMGs in it. But even the stock pickups that were in it sounded fucking chug. Yeah. One that I had, my brother actually bought it because my brother wanted to start learning to play guitar. For those of you that know my Brown SG, have you seen that?
Yeah.
The Brown SG, he bought that, started to play, he learnt a bit, didn't really get into it as much, so then I had it. And then he bought the V50, got into it a bit more, couldn't, and then I got it again. So shout out to you again, Dan, taking me to all these gigs, giving me all these guitars. But yeah,
legend. We all need a brother like Dan. I have not really gotten rid of a whole lot of gear unless I've meant to get rid of it, like on purpose, and been glad to get rid of. I guess the Dave Mustaine V that I had, the Dean, the VMNT, absolutely incredible guitar. Those live wire pickups were, it was just brilliant. The guitar was just incredible. It was just one of the best looking Vs on the market, and I'm very picky when it comes to guitars. It's one of the best looking flying Vs out there, especially the black one. There is one piece of gear that I do regret getting rid of.
And that is?
There was this strange period in my life when that's right. I wanted to get like the perfect heavy metal tone.
Right.
And I knew I wasn't going to get it from my current amp. But that amp that I had was a Carvin. Right? Okay. I bought that, through and through and through somebody, like contacts and stuff. There was a session musician in London who was moving to Australia, and he had this Carvin 112 combo, hot rodded up to the yin yang, monster amp, tear your face off, and lovely clean tone as well. And that used to be owned by Mr. Steve Vai.
Oh, okay.
And because he was moving to Australia and he needed to get rid of all his stuff, he sold it me cheap, like 500 quid.
Oh.
So I bought it, and I had many good years out of it. I put my Vox Tone Lab in front of it and all that sort of stuff. Like, it was with me for a very long time. And then, for some reason, at one point in my life when, I don't know, we all get lost sometimes.
We all need money for heroin at one point in our life.
Yeah. I sold it to one of my students for 200 quid.
Oh, jazz.
I don't know why. And that was like a piece of Steve Vai history. And I sold it.
But oh, mate.
I would do anything to have that back.
Question though, I like that. Owen Moody. Love you, guy. Like I said, don't change. You've got to be following Jazz, surely, on Instagram. If you're not, go do it now. Go do it now, guy. Go do it now. And follow him on, subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's got a YouTube channel, did you know?
Most important.
He plays guitar.
Yeah. Oh, on 4th of September, I just hit the 500 subscriber mark. 4th of September, I'm doing a live show. Anybody who's my bunch who've been following me on YouTube, watching my streams and stuff, banging my head against the wall trying to get the Kemper to work with YouTube and then get the sound right, and then latency issues with playing songs and stuff, you know exactly what I've been going through. Issues have been solved. I believe it's working now. And I'm going to do a live show. I just thought, I wanted to play along to songs for everybody, to have, rather than just do covers, just to give like the live sort of feel. But I thought, you know what? Why don't I do like an online gig, as it were? So next Saturday, so by the time you guys are hearing this, it'll be this Saturday coming, which will be the 4th of September, 4 p.m. UK time. I believe that lands the guys in the States around 11 a.m. So yeah, tune in. It's going to be a good one. I've got like intro tapes that I've made for some of the songs and everything. It's not just me like sat down with my guitar. Like, I'm going to be stood up, and the whole thing's just going to like roll, and then one song's going to go into the next. So it's like a gig. So if you're not able to get to gigs because of COVID and stuff, and you want to see some Bullet My Valentine tracks, because that's what it is, I'm playing 10 Bullet songs. If you want to see some Bullet My Valentine songs played back to back, come and hang out. 4th of September, 4 p.m. UK.
I'll be there drinking, so get your beers in and we'll all fucking rock out together and have a good one.
Let's go for it.
Looking forward to it, man.
D-Strong49. We've spoke a few times and you like what I do, it seems. So thank you so much for your support, man. I really appreciate it. He asks, how have you made the Bullet of My Valentine sound? Okay. Quite honestly, I haven't. For my covers, it's the one tone that I use, which is a Randall Satan, All Over England, right? With a tube screamer in the front of it. Okay. That has got me so many covers, you would not believe it. It just sits in the mix so well. Just to cut you in, I've done Poison stuff with that. Okay. I've done like Slipknot stuff with that. And I've even done like Kill 'Em All era Metallica stuff with that, like Four Horsemen, and it's fucking worked. And if you know what the tone's like on that album, so when you're layering guitars on top, it's got to sit in the mix, right? And it just works. I can't explain it. The only album that guitar tone on Bias Effects doesn't work with is Scream Aim Fire. They're just not that album. The guitar tone on that album is not a heavy bedmate when it comes to like trying to get tones to sit with it. So I literally had to make my own tone for that. So I just did my research. I believe it was a 6505 going into like a Mesa cab, and I just had to play around with the EQ until I got something that would sit with it. Now listen up, guys. My covers are recorded just like they would track the album. I've got two guitars, left pan left and one pan right, okay? Usually on an album, those guitar tones are not as high gain as you think they are. So if it sounds like this monster tone that's just saturated in gain, it's really not. Now I put the Scream Aim Fire tone up on the tone cloud because people kept asking me about it. I put it up there and I said to them, guys, trust me, you're going to download that. Bear in mind, this is set for my guitars, the way I play. yeah, and my setup here. But you're going to play that and you're going to think it doesn't sound anything like Screaming Fire. It's the way I've recorded it. Yeah, guitars pan left and right. That makes for more sound, yeah? So chances are there's not enough gain on that amp if you're just hoping to, like, sit in your bedroom and play.
Yeah.
So it's not just, you know, here's the tone and it works. Like, I had to fight to get that thing. And strangely enough, over the Screaming Fire stuff, it sounds absolutely perfect. On its own, it sounds like shit, and I would never ever use that tone in any other situation. It just serves the purpose for those covers.
I mean, I think you're right in what you're saying. Like, what you hear recorded is not what is coming out of the amp. You know, yeah. I've always mentioned that. Like, people ask me, like, oh, how'd you get that tone? How'd you get that tone? It's like, well, I recorded it, and then I did a bunch of post EQ to make it sit and make it fit and add some bits in here and there. It's a lot that goes into it. And I mean, I obviously just use my Series 1, whatever guitar I'm using, it's got EMGs in it. Plug it in, no pedals, no overdrives, no fancy bullshit. And I'll record the tracks. I'll either do left, right, or I'll do left, right, one in the middle. And then it's just down to a lot of post when it comes to these sort of things. So it's always going to sound different. So like what you said, when you uploaded it, it's like, oh shit, well, this is nothing like what I heard. That's just the way of recording shit. It's always going to sound different, you know?
And that's where the next thing that's going to come in is so important. Use earphones. They are going to give you the truest sound. Yeah? Everybody says to me, I want to start recording my guitar. What should I do? I say, get a door, get an interface, obviously, to get your guitar into the fucking door, and get earphones. Fuck the speakers. The speakers are going to give you something, but they're not going to give you the true representation, yeah? So, some will, absolutely, 100%, absolutely. But for you at home, if you want, like, the truest idea of what you're getting, get a decent pair of cans, and that will save you a world of pain.
And when Jazz says get a door, he means a DAW, a digital audio workstation.
Yeah, workstation.
Not an actual door. I don't want you guys thinking, right, I've got a computer, I've got some headphones. Right, now I need to go to the hardware store. I need a door.
Where's the door come into it?
So you just sat there with your guitar, you put your headphones on, you got a door next to you. It's like, this guy's full of shit, man. Moving on, next question is from me, and this comes from dispossession_666. This guy, this is the guy that done the fan art for me and you for Loud and Proud.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I spoke to him.
So you've not seen this, but I'll put it up now on the screen. This guy done this cool fan art for Loud and Proud, which is awesome. Yeah. Mate, it's fucking so cool. If you see on my videos, that little cartoon me that pops up, he done that also. This guy's just fucking, he's fucking talented, man. It's real cool. Very. Right, so he asked, this is a good one. Are you ready? If you can create a 4/5 piece supergroup, who would you have, dead or alive? Oh,
go on, Matt.
All right, so shit. So you're gonna need a lead player, rhythm player, bassist, drummer, vocalist, unless he's doing the rhythm as well. Right, on bass, I would put Jason Newsted.
God damn, yeah.
Because I love that guy, you know?
I love him so much.
On drums, I would have Vinnie Paul.
Oh, yes.
Rest in peace, brother. Lead guitar, I would have... I'd stick Dimebag in there.
Yeah.
Rhythm. So I got Newsted, Vinnie... Dime, and I'm thinking leaving Dime on his own because Dime can handle himself,
Yeah.
And Newsted's got a huge bass sound,
yeah,
so it kind of fills that in. Okay, yeah. So Dime on guitar, rhythm, and lead. Rest in peace, Dime. And vocals, shit. This is a tough one. Have you heard of a band called Sweet Savage?
No.
So Sweet Savage are, I think, one of the bands that Metallica listened to when they were growing up, right? But you, Jazz, and you listening or watching, go away, listen to Sweet Savage, okay?
Yeah.
Then you hear how Metallica are Metallica. It's really cool. So the vocalist from Sweet Savage, I would put on vocals. Because he's raw, he just sounds good. So Newstead on bass, Vinny on drums, because me and my brother, Vinny and Dime, me and my brother have always been proper gay for those two. Dime on lead and rhythm and backup vocals, because Dime's backups were also fucking sick.
Yeah, they were.
And the singer from Sweet Savage on vocals, I don't know what his name is. We're going to call him Terrence for the purpose of this video.
What kind of band are we making? I've sat here this entire time and I've been thinking to myself, and this is really difficult because there's so many musicians that I like and admire. So I guess we'll make an heavy metal band. Okay.
Doesn't have to be a heavy metal band. Any kind of band you want.
No. It's going to be heavy metal.
Oh, it's going to be heavy.
Yeah, it's going to be heavy.
That's how we like
the
to do
heaviest
it.
band of all time.
That's how we like to do it on the Loud and Proud podcast. Heavy.
Yeah.
Bold yet provocative, supple yet sassy, with a little tint of arrogance, because that's what you need in this business. Let's drink to that.
My guitar player is going to be Mr. Zach Wilde, because even before I heard Black Label Society, even before I heard, well, never mind about Ozzy Osbourne, ever since before I heard Zach Wilde's guitar playing, when I was growing up, a guitar sounded, or how a guitar should sound was a certain way to me in my ears. And then when I found that guy, it was like he was doing it. And I was like, that's what the electric... Even though I was listening to Metallica, Blood My Valentine, all those guys way before Black Label, when I heard his playing, I was like, that is how guitar solos and just guitar should sound. So my guitar player is going to be Zach Wilde. My drummer is, of course, going to be Mr. Joey Jordison.
Oh, Zach Wilde and Joey Jordison. That's quite sassy.
See, I hate this. Can we not just have like a Slipknot situation where it's like they trade off of each other?
Look, the question is... Look, the question is 4 to 5 piece. Let's stay true to this dude,
okay.
All right?
Okay, absolutely. So I've got 5 people. Okay, so brilliant. So I've got Joey and I've got Zach. Okay. I'm going to have my second guitar player as Mr. Jim Root.
Oh, there's a lot of beard in that band. I like it.
He has a lot of beard in that band. Okay. And because Jim is just like one of my favorite guitar players ever.
Yeah.
I want to say Jason because he is one of my favorite bass players.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, okay.
But it would either be him or Mr. Geezer Butler.
I was just going to say Geezer would probably fit in there good.
So I'm going to scrap Jason because you've already done him. I'm going to take Geezer Butler. I'm going to have Devin Townsend.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a little bit of a... like that whole lineup confuses me.
Something that would never happen. Yeah, exactly.
It confuses me, yet it excites me somewhat.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know that even though there's 2 guitar players already, Dev's going to play guitar, so...
Right, Jazz is going to come at you with one more question before we wrap this bad boy up. Let's do it, Jazz.
This question came from my other half, and she made me write it down.
Okay.
Because it's not on Instagram, to show on the screen.
All right.
And it says, when are you 2 going to run away and leave me in peace?
Oh, yeah.
Mate, I could click my fingers. You know what? She doesn't realize how on the rope she is. You know what, sweetheart? If you want it, you got it.
You got to understand, I'm talking to you now, okay? I'm talking to Jazz's other half right now. You just listen to my voice.
Yeah.
Let me bring you a bit close. Listen to my voice. This man has done things for me that no one in my life has ever done. He's brought me joy. He's brought me those special tingly moments when I'm watching him play guitar. I understand you get to see that all the time, but it's different for me. I can tell he's thinking about me when he's playing these videos and he's looking at the camera. He's just like, oh, yeah, Matt, you know. When he's laying in bed, he's like, oh, I just wish I could grab that beard right now. I didn't want it to happen, but sometimes these things happen.
If Matt's ever in the need for a pinch harmonic, I'm more than happy to acquire that extra bit of thumb that it needs.
Oh, no!
Cool.
That was a cracker. I really enjoyed that question.
I had a great time, and you know what? We should do this again.
We should. We didn't get to everyone's questions. I've still got a few left. If we didn't read your question out, We'll keep them and we will put them in another one. If you want some questions answered, either about gear, music, life, anything you want to ask us, put it in the comments below and we can use those in a future episode. It's been fun. I like these guys' questions are
massively.
awesome. Very cool.
Having a great time.
That's episode.
And it saved us having to come up with content for you guys. So jobs are good.
Yeah, jobs are fish, as my mate would say. I will say, guys, please give us a thumbs up.
Yeah,
a lot goes into these videos. Show us some love. For those of you listening on Spotify, huge thank you. You've been getting the raw, uncut version, which is always fun to listen to. But yeah, if you're not listening on Spotify, head over now. Go follow us on Spotify. The link will be below. Go subscribe to Jazz's YouTube channel. His handle is below his picture. He's a beautiful man. He can play like a motherfucker. And give us some feedback. What are you guys thinking about this podcast series? I mean, I'm having a fucking great time.
I'm having a great time. This is the highlight of the week 100%. For me. Like, I would say, what do you want to hear us talk about? You know, it might not necessarily be questions. Obviously, we get together beforehand and obviously come up with stuff. It's not like we just sign on. It's like, what do you want to talk about? You know, we chat about, you know, like what's been going on, what's current, what's interesting, and there were a few topics that I had this week even, you know, that we'll maybe save to the next one because we're doing the questions one this week. But let us know what you want to hear us talk about, you know, and we'll gladly, you know me, talk. Just a huge thank you to my subscribers, 30,000, which is really cool. Now it's time to just keep going, keep plowing, keep growing, and fuck YouTube in its dirty little dirt box. I ain't even going to spit on it. Cool.
Just gonna fucking ram it in there. That's for taking my Guns N' Roses reaction down, motherfuckers.
Yeah, fuck you, Axl Rose. We know it was you.
Yeah, you ginger prick. Don't look at my beard right now. Look away.
Let's do it.
Raise your beverage. And again, like we said in episode 3, if you're driving.
Don't.
if you're driving... and you get pulled over.
Or in work.
Yeah. If you're drinking at work, good on you.
Yeah, hats off.
Listen to us at work. I listened to our podcast at work the other day. You know?
Yeah.
And I was just getting all like down with it, you know? But yeah, raise your beers. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Let's chug it. Cheers to you. Cheers, Jazz.
Cheers.
Rock out, guys. Be awesome. Keep it loud and proud. And we will see you in the next episode. See ya!
See ya!
Ha ha ha. Tits.